This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the concept of sandboxes, and we'll see what exactly is sandbox, what is the use, how many types of sandboxes available in our Salesforce instance, and what kind of landscapes that we are using for the project in order to have the various environments for the project like QA, UAT, stage, production, and then at that time, for which type of environment, which type of sandbox will be useful, and how the sandbox look like, how to log in into the sandbox, and how can we write the code, how can we implement the application functionality, and how can we deploy the code from the sandbox to production or to the other environments also which we are following as part of that landscape. We'll see as part of this concept here. Basically, sandboxes are available for the licensed edition. Like from enterprise edition onwards, we are having that sandboxes are available. For the professional also, we are having some limited. And for the enterprise edition onwards, we are going to be using these sandboxes. For our free developer edition, we don't have any concept of sandbox, but there is an alternative mechanism to create the sandbox for a 30 days trial account. By creating a 30 days trial account, we can able to get some 10 developer sandboxes, and how to create those sandbox, and then how can we refresh the data from the production, and then what exactly each and every sandbox type describes, how the sandbox types are differentiated from each other, and then how to map the connections between the sandboxes to deploy the code from one sandbox to another sandbox. We'll see practically. Okay. Deployment concept will be the next session, but we have to know what exactly the sandbox is, and then how to configure the sandbox and how to map the connections we should be aware of. Okay. So now tell me basically what exactly is sandbox. Okay. Replica of production. Metadata. Okay. We can say it as a development environment. Okay. Yeah.
Before going to production, we will check all the our project. We will test it.
Okay. Move to the other instances. Okay.
Is the previous steps of last.
Okay. Production is also a sandbox.
Production is the last product to give the.
Okay, it's a live environment, or simply we can call it as a go live. Yeah. How do you know the environment which I'm using is a production or sandbox? URL, how? Okay. 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 For example, I already have logged in. Then how can we test? How can we identify? Is it production or sandbox? Already logged in. I'm having the home page of my application. I want to know whether it is a production or a sandbox.
But sandbox permission only gives to the developer and not the end user.
Okay.
So obviously sandbox permission not to the end user.
Okay, right.
Access.
Okay. Then who will create these sandboxes generally? Who will create these sandboxes? From where they will create? Developer or administrator? Admin person will create. From where we can create these sandboxes? Based on the license version, okay, then where this option will be available to you? Now, so So now let me explain the process here, what will happen. Okay. So let me take an example so that you can understand the complete process, how the companies are getting the projects, and then who is going to be taking care of the responsibility of creating the sandboxes and how to create from where we can create, how to map the connection of it. For example, let's take a general scenario. Assume that we have an organization, some ready labs. Okay. So everybody is aware of this organization that Ready Labs is one of the pharmaceutical manufacturing organization. They're into pharma domain. They're having the various R&D centers, the different locations in different countries. Along with that, they're having their own hospitals also in order to do some testing of those medicines which they have prepared by using the various of formulas. So Ready Labs is having the various R&D centers in the different locations. They're having so many scientist people, so many doctors are also available who are keep on doing some research on the various diseases. Finally, they will prepare some formula to prepare a medicine so that with the help of the medicine we can cure some diseases. So before releasing that medicine into that market, first of all, they would like to have the proper thorough testing. And after that, it has to be get approved by the World Health Organization. And then they have to get the permission from the government. Then only we can able to release that product into the market. There is a lot of process. Okay. So in this case, in order to automate this entire business process, okay, whatever the process they're following to manufacture the pharmaceutical products, they're following so many processes, so many divisions are available, so many employees are working, so many doctors, and then scientist people are also available. Keep on doing that, the various R&Ds and the preparing some formulas. So in this case, in order to store this entire business process, they would like to use an application. Okay, they would like to use an application because it's purely supply chain management. Not only manufacturing, they will be having supply chain management also. That means once the medicines have been getting prepared, then to where we need to be, okay, deliver these items here. Who is going to be taking care of distributing? Who is going to be doing the marketing? Who is going to be taking care of sales? Everything. So it's a supply chain management. So in this case, Ready Labs people have started their pharmaceutical organization some 30 years before, for example. 30 years back, they have started this pharmaceutical organization in order to do some R&D on the various diseases and then to prepare some medicine to cure those diseases. So at that time, they're having some 100 employees. At that time, they're having some 100 employees who are working in this organization. It's a small organization when they have started. Even though when you go to Salesforce company has been started with the 3 people. In a small flat, they have started the business in 1999. In 1999, in March, they have started with 3 members, which is in a small flat, a single bedroom flat they have started. Okay. Now they're having lakhs of people who are working in Salesforce. Almost 1,50,000 customers are using Salesforce implementation. Okay. Now, so in this case, initially when they have started their business, okay, 30 years before, they're having some 100 employees. These people are working on the various diseases. They're doing some R&D. They're preparing some medicines. So, in order to store this whole information of the manufacturing process, they would like to use an application. So, at that time, they have built an application by using some VB program. Okay, VB program, Visual Basic Program. Okay, so because during that time we don't have any Salesforce, okay, we don't have any Java backend that was popular at that time. We are having that VB programming, the VB, Visual C++, C, Pascal, Basic. These are some popular programming at that time. So these people have used that VB programming by using this VB. They have developed an application. They have built an application through which they would like to automate this entire business process. Whatever the process they're following in order to manufacture those items, and then whatever the factors are available, scientist people are available, R&D centers are available, manufacturing information, the whole process, the whole information they're storing inside an application which has been built up on VB program. So initially, when the application is utilizing by these 100 people, the application is giving very faster speed because number of users are 100. If all the 100 people are accessing the application, it is giving very faster speed. But slowly, the businesses keep on growing. They got very good credibility in the market. So because of that, they have expanded the business to the various different locations, different countries also. Their businesses keep on growing, so that keep on they're adding some new employees also. Now, when coming to this particular organization, for example, now they're having some 30,000 employees. Okay, 30,000 employees who are working in some different locations. So when now still they are using that same VB application, okay, to store the data. But initially, when the 100 people are available, initially when the business has been started, at that time, application is working very fast. Okay, application has worked with a very faster speed, but now if all the 30,000 people are accessing the application at the same time, it is giving some issues. Sometimes application is unable to respond. Sometimes application is getting hanging. Sometimes data is not saving properly. So they're facing so many issues with this application. Because number of users are more. Okay, number of users are more, so the application can't handle it. Like for example, complete general scenario also. Assume that I'm able to carry some maximum of 50 kgs of weight. Suppose if you're putting some 100 kgs on me, then I can't. Okay, I can't carry that. Okay, so I can't move ahead even one step also. Like the similar way, whenever if you're putting more than the peak load on the application, okay, if you're putting some more than the peak load, the application can't respond. The application will be getting hung. So in this case, they're facing so many issues as part of this application. So now they have decided that, so we don't want to continue with this application anymore. We want to decommission this application. So I would like to develop this application by using the latest programming because technologies keep on changing. So nowadays we are having very popular and the huge demands are there in the cloud. That too, my business has been expanded to the various locations. So I don't want to maintain my own server inside my organization. Then why can't we move this application to the cloud? So in this case, now when coming to the Reddy Labs CEO, so now they are going to be collecting the problems which the employees are facing with this application, and based on that, they will take some decision that we would like to develop the application by using some Salesforce, for example. They would like to develop the similar kind of features application through Salesforce. So then in this case here, who is going to be developing this application? So they're having 30,000 people. These people know how to manufacture the pharmaceutical products, but these people doesn't know how to develop a software application. They don't. These are purely the business people. They know the pharmaceutical manufacturing process, but they don't know how to develop the software application by using Salesforce. These are not the technical guys. So in this case, Redilla CEO is going to be preparing a document. Okay, Redilla CEO will prepare a document. In this document, he is going to be clearly describing that we are from Redilla organization from pharmaceutical manufacturing. So initially, we have started the business 30 years back. At that time, we are having some 100 employees. To store our business related data, we used to have an application built by using the TV programming. At that time, 30 years back, the application is working very fine at that time. But now, my business has been expanded to the multiple countries. We have so many employees. If all the people are accessing the application is giving some issues. So we want an application to implement or to automate the entire pharmaceutical manufacturing process, which has been built by using Salesforce. Okay. Now, so that here, they are going to be indicating what exactly the requirement of the application they are expecting. So they're preparing a document. This document is called as an RFP. Okay, this document is called as an RFP, request for proposal. Okay, so they're preparing an RFP document that is called as request for proposal. Now, once the RFP document is ready, he is going to be sending this document to the various organizations. To which organization? To the various IT organizations. Okay, he is going to be sending this document to the IT organizations. To all the IT companies in the world? No. He is going to be selecting some 4 to 5 IT companies by doing the Google. Because here, this application is for the pharmaceutical organization, okay, pharmaceutical manufacturing process. So that they will find out some organizations or some IT companies who are having the experience of developing the similar kind of applications in the past. Like they will go to some TCS, Wipro, IBM, and then Infosys. They would like to pick up some 10 companies and they would like to do some R&D on those company websites. So now they will go to each and every company website, they will verify whether these people has developed this kind of pharmaceutical manufacturing applications in the past or not. That means these people are having the experience of developing this kind of applications or not. They will verify. Then how can we cross-check that? When you go to the company website, they will be indicating clear information. Okay. When you go to any company website also, they are going to keep on updating the details. For example, when you go to that TCS, when you go to the company website, they are going to be indicating what kind of services they have offered, which kind of industries they have served. Then everything will be available, like as retail industry, manufacturing, insurance, energy, resources and utilities, consumer goods also, banking and financial, and then the communications and the telecommunication industry, high tech, the life sciences and healthcare, nothing but pharmaceutical, public services, nothing but government organizations, travel and transport facilities. These are the various domains, these are the various industries they have worked previously for the past clients. So that Redilab CEO will do some R&D by visiting the various company websites, and they will verify whether these people are having the experience of developing the similar kind of applications in the past. So now from that they will find out some 4 to 5 organizations. For example, they will be selecting some organizations over here, like as some TCS and some Wipro and some Infosys and some IBM. They are selecting some organizations, 4 organizations. So once they are selecting these 4 organizations, then they are sending this RFP document to all these 4 companies. Okay. Whatever the RFP document has prepared, now this RFP document they are sending to the 4 companies. Okay. Now to the TCS people, Wipro, Infosys, IBM. Then how they are going to sending this document? Because when you go to this organization, they will be having a BD team. That means here business development team will be available. Now the BD team's main job is what? Keep on, they have to collect the projects but from the various clients. That's it, their job is over. That means here they are going to be contacting the various organizations, and then they are going to be collecting the requirements, and they are going to sharing the project information to the technical team. That's it, their job is over. So that they are keep on working on the business development to collect some customers. Customer means what? Some clients, like as Redilab. So in this case, the main job is that going to keep on finding some the clients who are expecting some applications. Now in this case, they're sending this RFP document to the BD team. But if the business development team is available, these people are going to be collecting the RFP document. Now this RFP document is going to be forwarded to the technical team. Okay, technical team. So they will be having the architects are available inside the organization. Now this architect and the business analyst, the people are going to be reviewing this RFP document, and then they are going to identify that whether we can able to implement this application or not. So in this case, each and every company like as TCS, Wipro, Infosys, IBM, these 4 people will be receiving this RFP document. They will analyze that with the help of the technical team, with the help of the business people, also domain experts also. They will be having some domain experts, like as banking domain experts are also there, financial domain experts, and the life sciences domain experts are also available. So in this case, they will be contacting the respective domain expert, and they are going to be analyzing this requirement, and then they will identify whether we can able to develop this application or not. So then in this case, if they are able to build the application, they are going to prepare the proposal. They are preparing the proposal document. In this proposal document, they are clearly mentioning that now whether they are able to go ahead with this application or not, they will be indicating. Along with that, they are indicating that what is the duration, how much time they need to develop this application, and what is the budget, okay, they need for this application development, and what are the various modules they are going to be implementing as part of this application, so that they are going to be preparing the analysis part. That means this is what application that we are expecting. So we are having very good experience while developing this kind of applications. We have developed the similar kind of application for our past clients, like as Merck Corporation is also one of the pharmaceutical manufacturing company. So who are experts in the cardiology R&D centers. And then along with that, we have worked on that. So for the AstraZeneca also very one of the famous the pharmaceutical manufacturing organization. So in this case, so they are going to be giving some examples also. Already we have worked with that particular clients also. We have developed this kind of application in the past. So that they are indicating that the case studies also, nothing but user stories also, customer success stories are going to be indicating inside it. If you want, we can able to collect the feedback from our previous customers also. So how we have implemented the application, whether they're happy with our applications or not, we can collect the feedback also. So that they're giving some customer stories also inside that. Now they're indicating the duration also, how much time they need to develop the application, and then they're indicating the budget also, what kind of modules they are going to be implementing, and what are the various past clients to whom they are implementing that application. They will be preparing the proposal document. Now this proposal document they are going to be sharing to that, okay, the Ready Labs again. They're sharing to the Ready Labs server. They're sharing to the Ready Labs server. So now in this case, the Ready Labs CEO will be collecting this proposal document from all the 4 companies. Okay, from the TCS also they will be receiving the proposal, from the Wipro also, from the Infosys also, and from the IBM also. They are going to be collecting the proposal from all the 4 companies. Now the Ready Labs CEO will decide which company we need to give this project. That is purely depends upon the budget, whatever they have quoted inside that, depends upon the duration also, depends upon the modules and the features which they are going to offer to us. Okay. Now, for example, in this case, TCS people have quoted very less budget. Okay, TCS people has quoted very less budget. So now in this case, the TCS is a very well-known organization. They are going to be implementing the application for most of the clients in the different industries. It's has its own brand in the market. So in this case, we would like to go with that, okay, TCS. That means Ready Labs CEO will decide to which company we are going to be handing over this project over. For example, they got selected that TCS company will be there. They have quoted the very less budget. They are ready to develop the application within 4 months of time. So we want to go with the TCS company. So in this case, the Ready Labs CEO is going to set up a meeting with the TCS company. They will set up a meeting with the TCS company. So now in this case, in the TCS company, they will be having some high-level people available, high-level management people. Okay, and along with the technical people, business related people are also. They are going to be involving in that meeting. That meeting is called as a kickoff meeting. They are going to be conducting a kickoff meeting. In this kickoff meeting, Ready Labs CEO is also going to be involved, and then along with that, some management people from the Ready Labs, along with the TCS management people and the technical people also going to be involved in this. The high-level architect people and then the business list people are going to be involved in this. And then they are going to be preparing that, they are going to be having the kickoff meeting, and then in this one, they are going to be having some agreements. Okay, they are going to be having some agreements. Now, boss, as a Ready Labs organization, we are ready to provide the project to you, and then already you have indicated that in the proposal document, you need some 2 crores of amount to develop the application, then we are ready to provide the 2 crores. So initially, we are going to be offering some 50 lakhs of amount to you. Okay, and then you can start develop the application. Remaining 1.5 crores, we are going to be releasing in terms of that the 3 months. So in this case, they are going to be indicating that whole information, the kickoff meeting. Along with that, they are going to be indicating how you are going to be delivering the product. The complete project you are delivering after 4 months, or you want to release that product in terms of phase wise. Like every month, phase wise here. In the first phase, some of the features. Second phase, some of the features. Third phase, some of the features. How you are going to be delivering this application. The complete application at a time after 4 months are in terms of that phase wise. Every month one phase. Okay, first month end one phase. In that one we are releasing some features. Second month end some more features. Third month end some more features. Fourth month end remaining features. Like you want to deliver the complete product at a time, or you want to deliver the product in terms of the phase wise or release wise. So that will be indicating this information. Now, they will be having the complete documentation over here, and along with that here, they are going to be completing the kickoff meeting, they will be having the sign off. That means in this case, what happened, they are going to be signing off the documentation over here. They will be having some agreements. So now because in the middle of the application development, they can't cancel the agreements over here. For that one, they will be having the proper agreementations available inside this particular kickoff meeting. And in this case, they are going to be discussing that to develop the application, we need these are the various resources, because we need these software licenses, we need these tools, we need this much of amount. They are going to be indicating that whole information to that Ready Labs CEO. So now the Ready Labs CEO should be able to agree with that here, because to develop the application, whatever the resources are required, everything has to give the client itself. Okay. Now, so in this case, once this kickoff meeting is over, they would like to sign off for the documents over the agreement documents. So now here in this case, this document is called as SOW. Okay, this document is called as SOW, Statement of Work. That means here, TCS people got a project from the Ready Labs, Statement of Work. They are indicating that documentation is called as SOW document. That is also called as Statement of Work. So now in this case, the TCS people got a project from the Ready Labs. So now tell me in this case for the TCS, okay, Ready Labs is what? And for Ready Labs, TCS is what? For TCS, Ready Labs is what? Client. Okay, client. For Ready Labs, TCS is what? Vendor. Okay, vendor. That means these are all the vendors. I think this is also one of the organization who is supporting us in terms of software services. Okay, they're supporting some software services too. That means what? For the TCS, Ready Labs is a client. For Ready Labs, TCS is a vendor. Okay, now. So now here in this case, we are going to be getting that SOW document, that means statement of work document from that, okay, the Ready Labs people. Now, so in this case, in this statement of work, they're clearly indicating that nothing but these are the high-level information, high-level business requirements will be available inside this. Okay. Now, so in this case, whenever the project has been getting signed off by the Ready Labs people, now here in this case, they are going to be conducting a meeting inside the organization. That means the project has been handed over to that research people. Now, who is going to be taking care of the responsibility of this project? Who is the project manager for this project? Who is the team? So that they have to select a project. Okay, they have to select a project. So now in this case, during this kickoff meeting, once our SOW has been signed off, then now in the research company, they are going to selecting a project manager. They are selecting a project. That means who will be the responsible person for this project? Who is going to be taking care of this project responsibilities? Deliverables, requirements, everything. Who is going to be taking care of that? Who is the project manager for this particular project? They are going to be selecting that project manager. In this one, selecting the project manager is going to be purely taking care of the TCS people only, not Ready Labs. They are not involving inside this. They are going to be selecting the project manager. So once the project manager has been getting selected, from now onwards, he is the responsible person to develop the project here. He is the responsible person for the development and the testing and for the deliverables also. So now here in this case, once the project manager has been selected, now he is going to be preparing the project management plan, PMP. He is preparing the project management plan. In this PMP document, he is clearly indicating that to develop this application, what are the various resources that we need. Software resources, hardware resources, tools, and then HR resources, nothing but hiring the people also, resource management people, everything, testing resources, everything. That going to be indicating that. When coming to the project manager is going to be preparing a project management plan. In that one, he is going to be clearly indicating that to develop this application, then what will be the schedule. He is preparing a complete plan. He is preparing a complete plan of the project execution. So in this case, in the PMB document, clearly he is indicating that what software licenses that we need, what hardware licenses that we need, what tools licenses that we need, how many team members are required, how many members will be the developers, how many members will be the administrators, how many members will be the testers, everything he is going to be defining inside this project management plan itself. Okay, so he is going to prepare the project management plan. So now based on the project management plan, they are going to be identifying the people. Now, from there, they would like to collect that actual requirements. They would like to collect the actual requirements. That means what we need that actual requirement specification document that is called as BRD. That means business requirement document, or that is also called as FRS, BRS or FRS, anything. Business requirement specifications are the functional requirement specifications. So sometimes the client is going to providing only the business requirement specification. So at that time, the technical people inside that IT company or the business analyst people are going to be converting this BRS into FRS, functional requirement specifications here. In some cases, if the client is having the technical people, those people are going to be preparing the complete FRS document, clearly they're indicating that. Okay, that's clearly indicating we need these kind of features in each and every functional module. They're indicating that each and every functionality. So in this case, as part of BRS, it is having the high-level business requirements are available. FRS will be having the detailed information of each and every feature which they are expecting as part of this application. So in this case, when you go to the client, sometimes the client is having the technical people or they're having the content writers who are going to be preparing this BRS. Sometimes if the client is not having this kind of people, then they will be requesting the research company, please send some of your 2 or 3 members of your business university people to our client location, like as on-site. We are going to be providing some additional amount also for those people. So please ask them to come to our location, observe our business. Based on that, they will prepare the BRS document. So at that time, business analyst people will go to the client location. They will stay at the client location for 2 to 3 months. They're observing the client's business. Based on that, they will prepare the BRS document. Once the BRS has been approved by the client, then they are going to be coming back to the client, coming back to the company. So in this case, it's just like the client is going to be providing the BRS. Sometimes here, the teachers people who are going to be sending some the business analyst people to observe the client's business, which depends upon that client location. So now they will go to that client's location, they're observing the client's business, and based on that, they're preparing the BRS document. Once the BRS document has been approved by the client, okay, it requires an approved BRS. Then only they are going to be converting the BRS into the FRS document, functional requirement specification. So now in this case, this functional requirement specification document we are going to be using as a base for your project development. Okay, for your application development, FRS document is a base. This is what the document which is clearly indicating each and every functionality and the requirements. Everything will be available inside this FRS document. Okay. Now, so now here in this case, they are indicating that FRS document in that one clearly the functional requirements will be available. So based on that FRS document, now they will be sharing this FRS document to that the development team. In the development team, they will be having the technical architects are also available. Those people are going to be preparing the HLD document and then LLD document. High-level designs, low-level designs. They are going to be preparing the high-level design and the low-level design. That means they are preparing the prototype of the application. In this application, how many modules are available? In each and every module, what kind of features they are expecting? And then what is the functionality of each and every module? And then how the modules are interacting with each other? How the data has to be communicating from module to module? Everything that are going to be implementing as part of high-level design, and then each and every small feature that is describing with the help of that LED, nothing but low-level design. So once the high-level design and the low-level designs are ready, now these low-level designs are sending to the development team. From there, the development team is going to be start implementing this functionality based on that prototype or based on that low-level design documentation. Okay, so now as part of this LLD or the HLD, will be having so many other diagrams are also available, like as activity diagrams, class diagrams, object diagrams, everything will be available inside that to understand the different every functional flow in detail. Okay, now in this case, whenever they are going to start implementing the application, to develop this application, we need a Salesforce instance, right? Because we are going to be developing the application by using Salesforce. So that we need a Salesforce instance. Now tell me, can I develop this application by creating a free developer edition? No, right? This is for a specific client. So we have to go with that licensed edition. So at that time, we need some Salesforce licenses. So in this case, now in order to develop that application, we need a Salesforce application, that means Salesforce organization. We need a Salesforce organization. That means here they would like to go with that unlimited edition. They would like to go with that unlimited edition. So now tell me here, this who is providing this unlimited edition of Salesforce account to the TCS people? Will TCS people will buy this one, or the Ready Labs has to provide? Ready Labs has to provide. Why? Because suppose, for example, assume that I want to construct my house. Okay, I'm having some space. In that one, I want to construct the house. I have some manpower is there who is going to be experts to construct the house, also apartments, whatever. Then to construct the house, they need some materials, right? Who will provide that material? Those people will collect, or we need to provide? We need to provide that. That means here the house is constructing for us. We are the owner of that particular property, so we have to provide those resources. Like the similar way, this application is not developing for the TCS people. This application is using by the Ready Labs. So to develop this application, whatever the software licenses are required, everything has to be given by the client itself. That means Ready Labs has to buy that Salesforce license. Now in this case, Ready Labs people are going to be purchasing the license of unlimited edition of Salesforce. Okay, by contacting any of that Salesforce, the partner, or they can contact the directly Salesforce.com organization also to buy the licenses. Now, in this case, whenever Salesforce people or the Ready Labs people are purchasing the Salesforce license, Salesforce people are going to be allocating one organization. Okay, they're allocating one organization. That means creating a Salesforce account means what? Creating a organization. Where they will create this organization they are going to be allocating the memory space on production server. They're allocating the memory space on production server. Now, Ready Labs people are going to purchasing the Salesforce license, which is of type unlimited edition. Now, this is the unlimited edition of Salesforce. Okay, they are purchased by the Ready Labs people. This is the edition. For example, this is the organization, Salesforce organization. Is the Salesforce organization, which is the unlimited edition. Is the unlimited edition of Salesforce organization. So this is the unlimited edition of Salesforce organization, which has been purchased by the Ready Labs. Okay, Ready Labs. So in this case, where Salesforce people are allocating the memory space. Whenever if you want to create a new Salesforce account, then we have to fill up the registration form, right? It's a common for everyone. Even though it may be any edition also, free developer, unlimited also, it may be enterprise also, whatever, anything, you have to fill up the registration form. In the registration form, the Ready Labs people are going to filling up the details, the company name, first name, last name, the email ID, contact numbers, all this information they are going to provide. They're specifying the location as like as from India or USA, whatever, depends upon the headquarters. For example, Ready Labs people has given that the location as country as from USA. So it is going to be allocating the memory space. In which servers it will be allocating the memory space then? North America region servers. It is allocating the memory space on North America region servers, in the NA region servers. For example, like as of NA 21 or 25, whatever, anything, up to NA 196 are available. So now here in this case, assume that it is allocating the memory space in that NA 25 server. The memory space has been assigned. Now this is the edition. The two, it is a production. It's not sandbox. It's not a sandbox, it's a production environment. Upon purchasing that Salesforce account, upon purchasing that Salesforce license, Salesforce people are keep on that will be allocating the memory space on production environment, not on the sandbox. Now in this case, now tell me, this edition is going to be using with the TCS people to develop the application for the Ready Labs. Now tell me where we can develop the application. Inside the production instance, can I develop? No. On the production environment, we can't do anything. Because we can't play with the production environment, because something went wrong, data will lost, which is having some live data, which is having the actual the functionality, business logic, customers data, sales data, everything is available inside the production. So we can't play with the production data. We can't develop the application inside the production environment. Then what we can do? Where we can develop? For that one, we need a development environment first, where we can develop the application, we can have the thorough testing. Once it is working fine, then only we can move to the production. For that one, we need a development environment. So in this case, to create the development environment, Salesforce is providing a feature called as Sandbox. Okay, Salesforce is providing a feature called as Sandbox. Who will create this sandbox? Administrator will create the sandbox. From where? From the production. Creating the sandbox option is available only inside the production. Okay, creating the sandbox is available only inside the production. In this case, how this sandbox will be getting created over here? Whenever they are going to be creating the sandboxes, first of all, depends upon the application, depends upon the module, depends upon the complexity of the application, they are going to be preparing a landscape. Landscape means what? The environments. What kind of environments that we need to maintain for my project? Like as directly development environment and then production. Or development environment, testing environment, and then after the UAT stage and the production. So that it depends upon the complexity of the project, they are going to maintain the various environments over here. Okay, now. So now get in this case. Okay, now get in this case. So they are going to be preparing that landscape. For example, as part of my project, this is a very complex project here, so that we would like to have the multiple environments. Like as we would like to have the development environment. We would like to have the development environment. After that, we would like to have the QA environment. QA or testing environment. And then after that, we would like to have the UAT environment. User acceptance testing environment. And then after that, we would like to have stage environment. And then we would like to have, finally, we are having the production environment. Okay, production. So this is the landscape. Okay, here the landscape that generally the people will follow. In the entry point of view also, if anybody asks the question what kind of environment or landscape that you're following for your project, say confidently we are having these are the environments are there for our project. Like we are having the development environment, and then we have the QA, we have UAT, we have stage, we have finally production. These are the various environments that we are using as part of our landscape for our project. Now, so in this case, right now we are having that production environment. Right now we are having the production environment. Now, from the what we want, we need that stage environment, UAT environment, and then QA environment, and the development environment. So these are all our sandboxes. These are all our sandboxes. Okay, these are all our sandboxes. Only production is available. Production is only one remaining. All our sandboxes. That means here to develop the application, to test the application, to give the end user training, we need an environment that is called as sandbox. Sandbox is nothing but one of that Salesforce organization or the Salesforce environment which is giving with the Salesforce to you to develop and to test and to have all the types of testing. It may be not only the functional, we can do the security testing, performance testing, compatibility, usability testing also. Everything we can able to do the testings as well. Along with the end user training also we can able to give through sandbox only, not in the production. Once the application development has been done, if you want to give any demo to the client, the demo also from the sandbox only, not from the production. Okay, end user trainings and the demos to the client, everything we have to perform through sandbox itself, not on the production environment. Production environment will be having simply that live data, that's it, nothing. Okay, now, so now here in this case, you would like to have this kind of environments. So as part of my project is a bit complex project, okay, which is having some complex requirement. So I would like to have this many number of environments here. So that who will be creating this environment? So now the Salesforce administrator is going to be taking care of creating this environment. Now the Salesforce administrator is going to be creating this environment right now. Now I will create that environment. This is nothing but one sandbox. Okay, so this is the stage sandbox, and then he is creating UAT sandbox, and then he is creating QA sandbox, and then he is creating the developer sandbox. He is creating the development environment. These are the various environments that we would like to maintain for our projects. Okay, these are the various environments. So these are the various environments that we would like to maintain. So this is the development environment. So this is the QA environment testing. And this is the UAT environment, and this is the stage environment. So these are the various environments when coming to the organization, the people will be using, okay, upon developing the real-time implementations. Okay. These are the various environments. So now these are all our bars, these are all our sandboxes. Okay, these are all our sandboxes. These are all our sandboxes. These are all our sandboxes. That means we are having development sandbox, QA sandbox, UAT, and then these are all our sandboxes. So now in this case, okay, in this case, now we are having the sandbox. Sandbox is also one of the Salesforce environment. That means this is also one of the organization. So it has to allocate some memory space, right? In which servers it is allocating the memory space. Sandbox servers are always available on the CS servers. Sandboxes are always available on CS servers. Nothing but CS means customer sandbox. Okay, CS means customer sandbox. Just by looking into the URL itself, we can understand is it sandbox, is it production. If the URL is having the server numbers like as AP, NA, EU, that means it is a production. Other than that, if you're having CS, okay, the URL is having like a CS21, CS2, CS5, CS21, CS35. At that time, that is nothing but a sandbox. It's a development environment. Okay, so that sandboxes are always available on that CS server, and the production will be available on either NA or EU or APC. Okay, now then how can we log in into the sandbox over here? Whenever if you want to log in into the sandbox, we have to use a URL. To log into the sandbox, we have to use a URL called as https test.salesforce.com. Okay. To log into the sandbox, we have to use a URL called as test.salesforce.com. To log into the production, we have to use that URL. What is the URL? We have to use login.salesforce.com. So now, as of now, to log in into our developer edition, we are using that login.salesforce.com. That means developer edition is what? Is it sandbox or production environment? What are the developer edition that we are using right now? It's a production environment, which has been given by Salesforce to you on free of cost. Okay, it's purely a production environment. So in order to log into the production, we have to use that login.salesforce.com. To log into the sandbox, we have to use that test.salesforce.com. Now, whenever we are joining into the organization, they are going to be allocating the sandbox to you, not the production. Okay. Once you join into the organization, okay, we have to use always login test.salesforce.com. Don't try to use login.salesforce.com. It's a confirmation you are not a genuine person. Okay. Now, so always we have to work on sandboxes, not on the production. Okay. Now, so in this case, they are going to be creating this environment, like as QA environment, development environment, UAT, and the stage environment. These are the various environments are going to be creating by the administrator. So from where he is creating all this environment, he is creating from the production. He is creating from the production. Now, in this case, once the environments are ready, then they are going to mapping the connection between these environments also. For example, here, as a developer, okay, as a developer, now in this case, for example, we are having 2 developers are available, or 3 developers. They are working on that application which was. Okay. We are having 3 developers are available inside my organization, so that we are going to be allocating the sandboxes. 3 developers are available. These 3 developers are going to be working on my application development. Okay, so 3 developers are available. For these 3 developers are creating 3 sandboxes. Now in this case, this is the sandbox 1. This is the sandbox 1. And here the sandbox 2. And here the sandbox 3. So now we have created 3 sandboxes. These 3 sandboxes we are allocating to the 3 developers. Okay, 3 developers are available. That means our responsibility will be where? When you get a job, what is our responsibility? Developer. That means we are going to be using what kind of sandboxes here? Developer environment. That means developer sandboxes we have to use. Okay. Now, in this case, our role is in this place. Suppose, okay, by luck, if you are the senior member in the team, if the company is a very small company, you are the senior most member, then your involvement will be in the entire process. Okay, your involvement will be in the entire process. So now here in this case, initially, if you are new to the Salesforce, then better to target for the MNC companies. There, your role will be very, very limited. Your role will be purely like as a developer. Develop the code, move the code to testing. That's it, your job is over. Suppose when you go to the small company, then we have to take care of this entire environment. It's your responsibility. If something went wrong in any of the responsibility in any of that server, they will catch you first. You are the responsible person. Okay. So in this case here, when you go to that, initially go for the target for the MNC companies. Don't go to that small companies. But the benefit in the small company is our involvement will be more. That too, we can learn so many things also. Okay. But in the big companies, you won't get the chance to work on that all this environment. You won't learn more things. Your role will be very, very limited over there. Okay, there is a difference. Now, so now in this case, so we have to work on this application functionality. For example, assume that we are having 3 developers are available. Like as the first person, like as some Ram, like as some Ram Kumar. For this one, we have allocated that sandbox one. And for the Suresh is the second developer, from Suresh Kumar. We have assigned that sandbox 2. And for the Kishore, we have allocated that sandbox 3. 3 developers are there. For these 3 developers, we have assigned that 3 sandboxes. For every developer, they will allocate that sandbox separately. Okay. For every developer, they are giving a separate sandbox addition to it. Okay. Multiple people are not working on the same sandbox. Okay. But in some cases, if my client is a very poor client, okay, my client is a very poor client, at that time, they will be giving 2 sandboxes, with that one 4 people will log in. There is a possibility. So with one sandbox license, with one sandbox credentials, 10 people can log in at a time from the different locations. There is a possibility. Okay. So because sometimes the number of licenses are less, number of developers are more, because they need to complete the project very fastly. So in this case here, the same credentials will be using with the multiple team members also. But in this case, multiple people can able to log in into the same sandbox. Okay, maximum 10 people can log in at a time. But the problem is conflicts will be getting arise. If the 2 people are working on the same class or the same functionality, then conflicts will be getting arise. Okay, his code will be getting overridden with my code also automatically. Okay, because we are working on the same environment. In this case, the conflicts will be getting arise. That is the problem if we are going to be using that, multiple people are using that same sandbox at the same time. Okay, now, so in this case, when coming to application development, we are having some 3 modules are available. Okay, one is we are having the sales module. We are having the sales module as part of my application. Along with that, we are having the finance module. We are having the HR module. These are the 3 modules are available as part of my application. So now these 3 modules we have assigned to the 3 developers. I have given 1 month of time to them to develop this entire module functionality. So now they have taken some 1 month of time. Now they are ready for the they are ready to deploy the code. So now they have built this application functionalities based on the requirement given by the client. Now they have tested the functionality is working very fine. So after that, what we can do? We need to move this code to the QA environment, okay, testing purpose. So here they will be having our enemies will be available in this place. When you go to every company here for the developers, enemy people will be available in the second stage. So these are the testing people are available. Okay, testing people are available. So now they are ready with their weapons, like as test scenarios, test cases, okay, test plan. They're ready with that. They would like to test the functionality of your application with the both positive, negative cases. Because as a developer will be having that positive thinking. That means how to develop the application. Testing people should have the negative thinking here. How to break the application first. Okay, by giving some wrong values. In this case, the main motto is, even though the people are giving some wrong values, my application should not hang. My application should not crash. It has to give some proper error messages. So that's why I told you, please handle the proper exceptions inside your application. Upon writing the code, we have to write the code in such a way my application can able to handle any kind of exception which has been raised if the user is supplying some wrong values. Because we don't know what type of value the user will enter. So in this case, even though the user is giving some wrong values, then at that time my application should be able to handle that. It should not crash, it should not hang. It has to give some proper messages to the user, but this is the mistake that you did. These are the wrong values we have supplied, so we can't do this operation. My application should not crash. So for that reason, these people are going to be having the testing processes here. In this case, the people will do 2 types of testing, basically white box and the black box, both. Okay. Sometimes they will do only the black box testing. Sometimes they will do that white box testing also over there. Most of the cases they would like to go with that black box testing. That means only functional testing, not the coding. Okay. Now, So in this case, once application development has been done, modules functionality is done, then we need to move this code to the QA environment. Then upon moving the code from the development environment to the QA environment, both should be get connected first. Then who is mapping the connection between these two environments? For that one, the administrator is going to be taking care of the responsibilities. So whatever the sandboxes are available between the sandboxes, he is going to be mapping the connections. Okay? He is mapping the connections. From where to where? From the development to QA. Okay, development to QA. That means once application development has been done, then the application has to move into the QA environment. Here the QA people are going to be testing the application functionalities over here. If the whole application functionality is working very fine, there is no issues. Suppose if there is an issues are available, then what these people will do? They are going to be reporting as a defect. Okay, they are going to be reporting as a defect. So now, as soon as whenever they are reporting a defect, then we need to resolve those issues here. That means what? Upon executing the functionality, there are some issues are available, so that the QA people are going to be raising the defect. Whenever the defect has been getting raised, immediately all the developers will be getting an email notification. This is one of the defect has been identified. The testing people in that so-and-so functionality, in this so-and-so modules, okay, with this so-and-so values. So as a developer, it is our responsibility that we need to fix that code. We have to redeploy the code into the QA environment. Then again, they will do that retesting, regression testing both. So now in this case, here once the retesting has been done, regression is also done, the application is working very fine, then they are going to moving that code to that UAT. Okay. So further, they are mapping the connection from QA to UAT. In this UAT, who is going to be testing the application functionality? From the client side, the business people will do the testing here. In this case, our internal QA people will do the testing. Internal testing people. Okay. Internal tester people are going to be doing that testing of the application. Whenever I'm going to moving into the UAT, inside that here the actual business people. Okay. The business end users. That means who are going to be using this application actually. Once application has been deployed, who are going to be using this application? The business people are going to be testing the application functionality from the client side. This is from our internal system, internal organization. This is from the client side. So once the UAT is also over, these people are also tested the application functionality with some production live sample data. If the application is working very fine, if there is no issues are available, then they are going to be sign off this UAT. Then we can able to move that code to that stage. That means the code is ready to deploy to the production. That means we are placing inside that stage. Stage is nothing but a replica of a production. A stage is nothing but a replica of a production. It's a replica of production. Stage is nothing but a replica of a production. That means whatever the production environment code is available, the entire code is available inside that stage environment. Because something went wrong inside that production, we can able to copy that particular code from the stage to the production directly. So now once the code is available inside the stage, that means it is going further. This is also called as pre-production. Some cases, we are calling it as a pre-production. It is a pre-prod. So this is a pre-prod environment here. So now we are going to be having the stage environment. This is also called as pre-prod environment. So now once the code is available inside that stage, now we need to send an email notification to the client that we have developed the application functionality. We have tested that. Your business people are also tested the application. They have signed up that we are ready to deploy the code into the production. So please give that deployment window. Now the client is giving some deployment window. Like for example, already you know that. Whenever Salesforce is giving a new release, they're indicating the start time, end time, because 5 minutes max. Okay, 5 minutes. Even though Salesforce is having the 5 minutes deployment window, how much time they have taken to deploy your code for the previous release? 1 minute. Okay, 9:30 p.m. IST to 9:31 p.m. IST. Within 1 minute, your Spring 20 release has been upgraded into your account. Okay, they're having the deployment window of 5 minutes. 9:30 to 9:35 p.m. This is the actual, okay, the start time, end time. Like the similar way, whenever we are going to be deploying this code from this stage to the production, when you want to deploy, on what date and what timings, then the client is going to be deciding that. The client will decide that, and during the outside of the business hours, that means on Saturday or on Sunday or outside the business hours, please take this particular time period here, morning from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So they will be giving the deployment window. So based on the deployment window, the developer people and the release management people are going to be deploying this application to the production. Okay, they're deploying the code to the production. So these are the various environments that we are going to be using as part of our Salesforce application development landscape. Now, so in this case, we are going to be deploying the code from the development environment to the QA, QA to UAT, UAT to stage, and the stage to production. Okay, these are the various environments we are going to be using them. So in this case, when coming to the administrator, it is our responsibility. So we have to create the sandboxes and we have to map the connection between the sandboxes also. Okay, depends upon the connection. Depends upon the connection only. The code will be moving. So now here the arrow mark is indicating from where to where, development to QA. So the code can be moving from development to QA only. QA to development you can't move again. Depends upon the requirement. We have to map the connections here. Okay, it will be only one way. It will be the bi-directional. You have to map the connection also. How to map the connections between these sandboxes? We'll see practically today itself. Now from QA to UAT. UAT to stage to production, we are going to be mapping the connection. All these connections mappings will be done by the administrator. Suppose if you're working in a small organization, if you got a job as a Salesforce developer, you are the senior member in the team, then we have to take care of all these responsibilities, creating the sandboxes. Okay? Clear? Understood the concept now? So in this case, whenever we are going to be developing the applications inside the real time, we are following these kind of environments. Because development, QA, UAT, stage or pre-prod, and then we are having finally the production environment is available. So all the development environments will be available on that because the CS server, and then production will be available on the MA or EU or AP servers. Okay, clear? Understood the requirement here? Now in this case, let's see each and every sandbox, what exactly is sandbox, what we can do, what type of sandboxes are available in Salesforce, what is the difference between each and every type. Now let's see. Okay. Understood this architecture? Because here in the interview paragraph, if anybody asks what is the landscape that you have followed for your project, then you can say same thing. This is the architecture we are following. This is the landscape that we are using. Okay. So now let's see the concept of sandbox. Already you know what exactly is sandbox, so what is the use. Okay. Sandbox is nothing but one of the Salesforce environments which is used to develop the applications, to test the applications, to give the end user training also, to give the demos to the client also, to have the integration testing, functional testing, performance testing, security testing, and then compatibility testing, everything. We can do all the XR testings, we can able to do on that sandbox one. Okay, so in this case, when coming to the sandbox, Sandbox provides a development environment for Salesforce application. That means to develop your own Salesforce applications, it may be by using both configuration and the customization, both we have to use that sandboxes. Now, Sandbox allows us to develop the custom applications depending upon the application requirement. It allows us to develop the custom applications according to the business requirement, and then we can able to customize the business processes and the workflows. Everything, all the configuration features, all the development features, integrations, everything we can do inside that the sandbox itself, along with the testing also. So now testing the integrations and the testing applications also. That means what we can able to develop our own custom applications. Along with the developing the custom applications, we can able to have the testing also, and we can able to integrate that application with any application products also, or with the third-party systems also. We can able to integrate, and we can able to have the performance and the functional testing, and we can give the end user training also with the help of the sandboxes itself. We are not using any production environment to give the end user training, to give the demos to the client. Demos also, end user training also, everything we are going to be performing through sandboxes itself. Okay. Now, simply in one sentence, we can say sandbox is nothing but a development environment for the Salesforce application development, where we can develop, we can test, we can integrate, we can give the end user training to the users. Okay, by using the sandbox. So to perform, that means before releasing this application to the production, whatever all the steps that you are going to implement, that everything we can do with the help of sandboxes. Now, so now as part of this sandbox level, from where we can create the sandboxes? Production. Sandbox to sandbox can we create? No. Sandboxes should be always creating by the administrator from production. Okay, always sandboxes will be creating from production, not from the sandbox to sandbox. Okay. Now, so now we can create sandbox only from the production, and then sandbox options are available under data management in production. When you go to the production organization, inside the data management option, you will be having the concept of the option of sandboxes will be available. Or else you can go to the deploy menu. In the deploy menu also, you will be having the sandboxes option. And then the number of sandboxes we can create depends upon the license which we have. Depends upon the edition which you are using. It may be unlimited edition, it may be enterprise, it may be professional. Depends upon the edition which you are utilizing for your application development. Salesforce is providing different number of licenses fee, different number of sandbox licenses fee. That is purely depends upon the edition which you are using. Suppose if anybody asks you what is the edition that you are using for your project, then what we can say? Unlimited edition. Okay, unlimited edition. In unlimited edition, Salesforce is providing 100 developer sandboxes. Okay, Salesforce is providing 100 developer sandboxes. Okay, we'll see the limitation also. We'll give you the chart also. How many sandboxes will be given by the Salesforce in each and every edition of it. Okay, so in each and every edition, how many number of sandboxes will be given by Salesforce? I'll give that the table information also so that you can go through that. Now, in this case, the number of sandboxes we can create is purely depends upon the license which we are utilizing. Now, when you go to the sandboxes, we are having 4 types of sandboxes are available. First one is developer sandbox. Second one, developer pro. It is also called as configuration only. Third one, partial copy. Fourth one, full copy sandbox. These are the 4 types of sandboxes are available. Developer, configuration only. This is also called as developer pro, and we have partial copy and then full copy. These are the 4 types of sandboxes has been given by Salesforce. Okay, now let's see each and every type of sandbox one by one. First one, developer sandbox. So what this developer sandbox indicates basically? Developer sandbox is mainly using for the application development and testing. That means here always developer people are using the developer sandbox. Why? Because is developer sandbox will be giving the complete features like as your production environment. Whatever the features are there inside the production environment, almost all the features are available inside the development environment. So that here it is copy of a production without data. In the production environment, you will be having the application along with the customer's data is also there. Sales data, transaction data, everything will be available. But here, inside the developer sandbox, we are having the application functionality, not the data. So whatever the features are available inside the production, almost the similar features, every feature is available inside that developer sandbox. Why? Because is when you go to the application development, application is available where inside the production. So where it is coming here actually? From the developer sandbox. Because the developer people are going to be developing that, then only we are keep on going to the other environments, finally it will be going to the production. So that here, development environment will be having almost all the functionalities like as the production environment, because the application is came from the development environment only. So that upon developing the application, always we have to use developer sandboxes. Okay, but the application development we are using the developer sandbox. Now, so in this case, developer sandboxes are intended for developing the code and then testing. In order to develop the application functionality and then to do the testing, any type of testing, whatever it may be. Okay, it may be manual, automation also. It may be any tool, Salesforce will support. Okay, any tool, Salesforce will support. That's what we are nowadays. We are having more opportunities on Salesforce testing. Okay, we have so many opportunities on Salesforce testing. But the thing is, the people should be aware of Salesforce and testing both. Okay, the people should be aware of both Salesforce and testing. That's what here, so many testing people are learning Salesforce because they can able to work on that Salesforce testing applications also nowadays. Why? Because when you go to the Salesforce application, in some cases, we have to test functionalities in a specific location. Like for example, so I have created one record. Because of the record, it is sending some email notifications. It is creating some time-dependent action. Then where we can test this time-dependent actions? How can we do that? How can we test? Time-dependent action has been created or not because of my workflow. How to test it? Where we can see time-dependent actions. Workflow where? Queue. Where is the queue option? Manage users. So in this case, when you go to the monitor, you will be having the option is available. Okay. Here you will be having the option called as time-based workflows. Now these options will be aware of by whom? The people who learn Salesforce, only those people will be aware of. That means time-dependent actions we have to look into in this case. Okay. So if there is in the log files, we have to look into in this particular option. Now this should be aware of only for the Salesforce people. So in this case here, not only that testing people, okay, the who are having the knowledge on Salesforce, those people are going to be joining into that Salesforce testing. We are having so many opportunities also available on Salesforce testing also nowadays, but we don't have the right people. Okay, the people are purely concentrating on testing only, not on Salesforce. Okay. Now, so in this case, developer sandboxes are intended for the developing the application and then to test the application functionality. In order to build applications, whatever you want, like as configuring the objects, fields, associations, and then workflows, validations, sharing rules, all out of the box features aligned with the role users, profiles, Apex classes, Visual Force pages, everything, whatever you want, everything we can able to build and we can test the application functionality inside the developer sandbox. Now here I am indicating that multiple users can log into the developer sandbox at the same time. Multiple people also can able to log into the developer sandbox at the same time. That possibility is available inside this. That already told you, suppose if the project is in the critical stage, that means here we are having some more deliverables are available, but we are having very less people in the team. So at that time, we can able to take the help of the shadow resources also. We can able to involve them inside the application development. Those people are also working for our requirements. So at that time, multiple people can able to log in into that same developer sandbox at the same time. Maximum 10 people can log in at a time. Next one, the sandbox refreshment. So you can refresh the developer sandbox once per day. What do you mean by this sandbox refreshment generally? Refreshment, sandbox refreshment in the sense. Anybody who is working, they might be aware of Java, .NET, those people. Updating the records, no. Because we are not creating any records. Records will be creating by the end user people or the business people in the live environment, in the co-live environment, that's the production. For example, come to a scenario. Assume that we have that application which is having 3 modules: sales, finance, HR. So these 3 modules responsibility we have assigned to the 3 developers, Ram Kumar, Suresh Kumar, and the Kishore. We have given 1 month of time. So now 1 month is over. These people have developed the application, tested the application, and then slowly we have tested that by the internal QA. UAT also done, stage is also done, move to the production. Whenever the application has been moved to the production, first to 2 days are struggling period. Okay, first to 2 days are struggling period. Because here, once application has been deployed to the production, at which point of time production issue will get arrived, we don't know. So during this time period, nobody will be giving the leaves to you. You can't go for a leave. They won't approve any leaves or the vacations. Because here, whenever if you are going for the leave, if any production issues have been come up, then who is the responsible person? So in this case here, the first 2 to 3 days will be the struggling period here. Okay. So in this case here, so now in this case, for example, these 3 people have been worked on that application. We have deployed the code to the production. Now we have waited for 2 days. Okay, no issues has been come up as of now, so we are in safe zone. Okay, now we are in safe zone. Application is working perfectly. So many people have used as of now. There is no production issues right now. So this person, okay, Suresh Kumar went for a vacation for the next 3 days. Okay. On the fourth day, okay, for the first 3 days, there is no production issues are available here. On the fourth day, he went for a vacation for the next 3 days. He is not available for the next 3 days. On the fourth day afternoon, production issue has been come up in the finance market. Okay, the customer has raised a issue. Okay, in the finance module, this is the functionality is not working properly. So please fix this issue. If it is a production issue, then we have to fix the issue immediately. Who is responsible person? Where is he? He's in vacation. Can we inform to the customer like he's in vacation? Please wait for 3 days of time. No, right? Then what we can do in this case? In this case here, okay, from this remaining two members, any one of the person has to take care of the responsibility. But in this case, for example, assume that okay, Ram Kumar is ready to take up the responsibility to fix the issue. He knows that what exactly the problem. Okay, he knows the solution also. He's ready to fix the issue. But the finance module code is available inside the sandbox 2 only. Okay, that has been moved to the production. So, but in this case, what happens? In the sandbox one, he is having only sales module code. Then how he can work on this issue? For that one, he has to get the code. From where we can get the code? Sandbox to sandbox, can he get? No. Might be along with the finance module code, he may be having some other code may be available here. Because of that, existing function will be getting affected. So what we need to do, we need to get the code from where? Where is that actual code is available? In the production. Okay, production. So now here we have to get the code from the production over here. How can we get the code from the production? We can't take the code from the production directly. So we have to make a request to the administrator that there is a production issue has been come up in the finance module, but finance module has been implemented by the Suresh Kumar. He went for a vacation. So I am ready to work on this finance module functionality. So please refresh my sandbox with the latest code from the production. Then what he will do, he is going to be refreshing your sandbox with the production code. That means whatever the latest code is available inside the production, he will collect the whole copy of the functionality, not the records, not the records. All the business logic functionalities. He is going to be collecting the whole code from the production and he is going to be placing inside that sandbox. So in this case, collecting the whole code from the production and then copying into the sandbox is called as sandbox refreshment. That means I'm refreshing my sandbox. I'm going to be refreshing my sandbox by collecting the latest code from the production to sandbox. This is called as sandbox refreshment. Who will do that? That will be taken care by the administrator only, not the developers. Developer can't do that. Developers have to make a request to the administrator. Please refresh my sandbox from the production. So whenever we are going to be refreshing the sandbox, then please always refresh the sandbox from production only, not from sandbox to sandbox. Why? Because is in that sandbox it may be having some error code may be available. If it is a production is having error-free code, nothing but bug-free code is available. So always it is a safe side. We have to collect the code from the production to sandbox. So in this case, getting the latest code from the production to sandbox is called as sandbox refreshment. The two in the developer sandbox will be getting refreshed only once per day, not multiple times. Okay, clear? Now, in this case here, if anybody is working on any other technologies like as Java or .NET, the people are using the version controlling systems like as PFS, VSS, Purpose, CBS, SVN, GitHub, like that the people are using the various version controlling. If it is the mainframe, people that are using like as a Endeavor. Endeavor is one of that version controlling tool the people are using for the mainframe applications. So like that here also we can able to get the latest code because always the people are going to be collecting the latest code from the version controlling, they're placing into the local system, they will start working on that every day. So here also we can able to get the latest code from the production instance with the help of that sandbox refreshment that can be done only once per a day for the developer sandboxes. And that two developer sandbox will be having the maximum storage capacity of 200 MB. Okay, developer sandbox will be having the maximum storage capacity of 200 MB, including your functionality, including your data also, both. Okay, so data storage 200 MB, file storage 200 MB, both will be available. Okay, clear? Understood the concept here? Sandbox refreshment. These terminologies are very, very important. Okay. Now, the second one, developer pro or configuration only sandbox. Okay, developer pro or configuration only sandbox. Now it is indicating Developer Pro Sandbox copy all your production organizations reports, dashboards, Facebooks, products, applications, and the customizations under the setup, but excluding all your organizations, standard and custom object records, documents, and the attachments. That means what? Developer Pro Sandbox is going to be collecting the whole functionality here without the data available inside this particular organizations. Okay, without the data available inside this organizations. Just a minute.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Now, so now let's see. So when we go to the Developer Pro Sandbox, Developer Pro Sandbox will be having all the functionalities like as your applications, whatever we have standard install the custom applications and your dashboards and the reports and the functionalities, whatever we have implemented, everything will be available inside this Developer Pro Sandbox. Along with that, here it won't have that records. Records will not be available. Whatever the records you have created, documents you have created, attachments you have created, these will not be available inside this Developer Pro Sandbox. Basically, Developer Pro Sandbox are configuration only sandbox we are using for the QA purpose. Because QA people are not going to be storing much data, so that here we are going to be using the Developer Pro Sandbox. And that too, they don't have the rights to configure all the functionalities. They're not configuring anything, just they're going to testing the functionality. Whatever the functionalities we have implemented, these people are going to simply testing the functionalities by entering some wrong and the right values inside that. okay, to verify whether the application is working properly or not. That's it. They're not building anything, so that it will be having very limited features available inside the developer pro sandbox. Now, only standard objects and custom settings provided by Salesforce are available inside. Now, the creating a developer pro sandbox can decrease the time it takes to create a refresh a sandbox from the several hours to just a few minutes. That means what? Whenever we're refreshing the developer sandbox, then in this case, it is collecting the whole data from the production to your developer sandbox. So the complete information will be getting copied. But in this case, what happens? It is copying only few functionalities, not the complete features, so that it will be reducing the time also. Okay. Now, along with that, they will be having that you can refresh the developer pro sandbox once a day, like as your normal developer sandbox. Every day, only one time we can able to refresh this developer pro sandbox here from the production. And then maximum storage space is 1 GB. Inside this developer pro sandbox, you will be getting the capacity of storage is maximum of 1 GB. So why they are giving 1 GB of space for the development, 200 MB for the testing, 1 GB? Why?
Because the data is also present.
Okay.
Everybody is also present, and along with this or copy of that or objects. Real-time data is also.
Okay.
That's what
Basically, whenever they are going to testing the application functionalities, okay, they are going to be doing the bulk testing also. Okay. Bulk testing also. That means bulk records they are going to be processing through that application itself. If I am processing only one record, how the application is responding? If I am processing bulk records, how the application is responding? That means they are going to be applying the more number of users also. They're creating some virtual users through the tools, like some Selenium also. They're using some QC, okay, QTP also. They're using the various tools in order to create the virtual users, and those virtual users are going to be logging into the application at the same time. So that here, to apply that more than the peak load on this application to process the data, they need some more space. So whatever the data is required, the data we have to supply. As a developer, it is our responsibility. We have to insert those records into that object itself. Because those records will be utilizing by the testing people, they can test it. So whatever the data we are providing, whatever the environment we are providing to the testing people to test the application, that environment is called as a test bed or it is called as test environment. We have to create the test bed first. That means here we have to provide the R data in order to test that application functionalities for the testing people. Whatever the environment, whatever the records or whatever the data is available, that combined data is called as the test bed. The test bed we need to provide as a developer. Because the testing people doesn't know how to dump the data through data loader. We have to do that all operations manually. We have to provide that environment. Then only testing people will log into the application. They will do the testing of that application functionalities. Okay. The next one. The next one is partial copy sandbox and then full copy sandbox. So what is this partial copy sandbox basically? Partial copy sandbox generally we are using for the UAT environment, okay, for the business users, okay, user acceptance testing. So in this case, to have that UAT testing, we are going to be using the partial copy sandbox. So now the partial copy sandbox contains the production. It contains the replica of production along with the sample production data also. That means what? The business people are going to be testing the application functionality. How they will be collecting some data from where? From the production. They will collect some sample production data from the production. They are going to be applying the data into the application to test the application functionality. So that here, not only it is having the functionality, it is having some production sample data also required. So we need to get this data from the production to UAT also. So at that time, we have to use that sandbox templates. Okay, we have to create sandbox templates. Through that sandbox templates, what objects data you would like to fetch? How many records you want to fetch, that we can able to decide with the help of sandbox templates. So in this case, now we can create the template to load the data from the production. In order to load the data from the production, we are going to be creating the sandbox templates also. And then by using this sandbox template, we can able to decide what object data to be get loading from the production to sandbox. We can decide that how many records you would like to copy from the production to sandbox. We can decide based on that we can able to load the data from the production to the partial copy sandbox, and they can able to have the testing process also. And then you can refresh the sandbox for every 5 days once. For every 5 days, only one time we can able to refresh this sandbox here, which is of partial copy, which is having the capability to store maximum of 5 GB of data inside this. And then full copy. Full copy sandbox means it's simply, you can say it's a copy of production. Whatever the storage space, whatever the features are available inside the production, exactly one copy of the data is available inside your full copy sandbox also. So that full copy sandbox is a production with replica of the production with the data. That means it will be having the data also inside this. While creating the sandbox, the data, the user will be having the option to select what object data he would like to dump. There is a possibility by using that sandbox templates also. And then you can refresh the full copy sandbox for every 29 days once. For every 29 days, only one time we can able to refresh that full copy sandbox. Now the size will be purely similar like as your production environment. Okay. So these are the 4 types of sandboxes are available: developer sandbox, developer pro, and then partial copy, full copy. So now here in this case here, when you go to this environment, okay, when you go to this environment. So now for each and every environment, what kind of sandbox that we can use? For the development environment, developer sandbox. For this one, here in this case, we can go with the developer pro. Or else you can use partial copy also, depends upon your requirement. Developer pro or partial copy. In this case, UAT should be always partial copy. And the state should be always what? It's a full copy sandbox. Okay. Now suppose for example, now if the interview point of view, they have raised the question, okay, what kind of sandbox we have used to develop the application? Developer sandbox. Okay, we have implemented the code by using developer sandbox. Just say confidently. These points are very, very important in the interview point of view. Okay, to develop the application functionalities, we are using the developer sandbox. Okay, for the testing purpose, we can use developer pro or partial copy. For the UAT environment, we are using partial copy. For the stage environment, we are using the full copy sandbox.
The developer is testing some code or something. From where you get the data? Data is data.
No, we have to enter the data manually. Manually, we have to enter the data. Because as of now, what we are doing, we are preparing some rule validation. How we are testing by creating some record. Same thing we have to do. Okay. Next one. So now let's see here. Whenever we are going to be having the sandboxes, how many number of sandboxes are available? How can we verify? We'll see that practical also over there. So this screen is not required. Now let's see for which kind of edition, how many number of sandboxes will be giving the Salesforce. Now here just we can able to remove this performance edition because performance edition is no more right now with Salesforce. Salesforce has completely removed this performance edition. We are having enterprise edition and the professional and limited edition. Okay. Now as part of professional edition, we are having only the 10 developer sandboxes are available. Okay. In professional edition, you will be getting 10 developer sandboxes. No partial copy, no full copy, no developer pro. Only developer sandboxes are available up to maximum of 10. Now, enterprise edition, you will be having the 25 developer sandboxes and 1 partial copy sandbox will be available. If you are utilizing the enterprise edition will be providing 25 developer sandboxes and 1 partial copy sandbox. If it is an unlimited edition, you will be getting 1 full copy sandbox, 1 partial copy sandbox, 5 developer pro, 100 developer sandboxes. These are the various sandbox licenses will be given by Salesforce in each and every edition wise. So upon implementing the application functionalities, in most of the cases, the people using the unlimited edition of Salesforce, as part of unlimited edition, you will be getting 1 full copy sandbox, 5 developer pro sandboxes, 100 developer sandbox, and then 1 partial copy sandbox will be available. Okay, you have to remember these points here. You have to remember these points.
Now, how can we assign a developer sandbox for the particular user?
We have to create the user. Upon creating the sandbox, we have to assign that. We will see. Tomorrow we'll see that sandbox creation. It's almost 110. So tomorrow we'll see that how to create the sandbox, how to map the connection, how to design.
Actually, for one license can be assigned for opportunity.
Okay, right.
Okay, we assign it.
Now for every sandbox license, you should be giving the Salesforce fee. The separate license is available for the sandbox.
For this also we need to create a profile. We need to create a.
No, not required. We don't need to create the profile here. The Salesforce is automatically maintaining the profile internally. by default. So now we should have the developer sandbox always upon implementing the functionality. So developer sandbox will be giving almost all the features like Azure production. So on which feature we are going to work on, we don't know. That will be deciding by the application requirement itself. Sometimes you have to work on purely configuration, sometimes purely development, sometimes mix up both also. So at that time, all the features access are required for us as a developer. So we should be having almost administrative credentials on our account. Okay. Clear? So these are the various of sandboxes available inside your Salesforce instance. Okay. Now, so in tomorrow's session, we'll see how to create these sandboxes and how can you deploy the code by using the deployment feature given by Salesforce that is called as change sets. What exactly the change set feature, how to deploy the code, we'll see practically. Okay.